Okay, everybody, what's up on your screen now is Broadband Pro Enterprise software. This is the software that Intuicom has developed to help the cities, municipalities, our distributors, help them manage their complex wireless network. This software is management made easy for the user. We also have within the software security feature. The software is designed to run in a traffic management center, and when you first open up the software, you get this prompt that comes up. This is your security center login. If you notice up in the upper left, right on the blue bar for broadband units, is this green bullet that says admin. This lets you know that the software is in administrator mode. This allows the user, when this green bullet is present, to be able to make configuration changes on your network. The software can be put into read-only mode, okay, and typically it is left in read-only mode in the traffic management center so that people walking by the computer that is displaying your network, they can't just open up Windows and make changes to your network. Only the administrator who knows the administrator password can make those changes by coming up and sliding this slider over into read-only mode, admin mode, and entering in the admin password. Also has a feature in which it'll auto shift back to read-only mode after however many minutes you set it to. So if you're like me, you run in and you make some changes and you forget to set the software back to read-only mode, it'll automatically do that for you depending on the time frame that you set. When you're in read-only mode, I'm going to cover a number of aspects of the software, starting with the left-hand column. The first thing is your unit discovery. If you can ping your radios on your network, you can discover them. It doesn't matter if it's going through 3, 4 routers. If you can ping the radios, you can discover. You set in your starting range of IP addresses and your ending range, and you tell it to click start, and it'll discover the radios on your network. Any unit that is an access point and has stations assigned to it, it'll show up here under the broadband units. Any unit that is not assigned to any access point, it'll show up under your unassigned units down here at the bottom. We make management of your network simple. Your column view, this column for large networks, can get quite extensive. So we have a number of filtering aspects that you can use. You can filter the radios by name. You can also filter those radios by IP address. You can see I filtered it down to all the IP addresses that are 192.168.102.6. So we're seeing only those units within that range. You can also filter it to show only your access points by just a simple click, and you can filter it so it shows only your station radios. On the management end as well, you have the capacity through a right-click menu to access a number of features of the software. The first one is the monitoring is quite simple because we have auto location of radios on the map that have the GPS feature. Okay, this radio right here, this NSA-S station, this test station, this is actually a GPS unit that's up on the roof. Okay, if I reset the location of that radio, it will in time pop back in, auto-populate onto its location on the map. If you have a radio that is not a GPS unit, you can locate it on the map by simply dragging it onto its position onto the map and then dropping it, right-click on it, and select Fix to Location, and it'll fix those radios onto the map, and every time you open the software, that radio will maintain that position on the map. Going down through the, continuing through the right-click menu, you can center the map on any radio on your network just by selecting center of the map column. You can open up the configuration window on any radio on your network by right-clicking and selecting configure the broadband unit. You can also restore a unit from the right-click menu directly without even having to log into the unit. You can bring up this same configuration window by double-clicking on a radio on the column. And you can also double-click on a radio on the map. Bring up the same configuration window. You can also generate a configuration report on any single radio on the network by simply right-clicking on it and selecting configuration report. And you can export these to PDFs, and you can save these wherever you need to have them saved on your hard drive. So you can generate, it's quite easy to generate a configuration report. You can move any radio in the column to the top. You can also drag radios within the column to whatever position that you want. So that pretty much covers the right-click menu. Up top, we have the file menu. This allows you to remove all the systems. The software runs over top of SQL Server, so it maintains a database of all the radios on your network. Even if a radio goes offline, you can generate a configuration report from the radio while it's offline, so you can program up a replacement for it. And for any of our distributors that are moving from location to location looking at networks, you can remove all the systems and use the unit discovery and rediscover those. In the tools menu, the first option in there is to change the unit login password. This is the password that the software uses to log into a radio. We suggest that you change all the passwords on all the radios to something other than default, and you can achieve that through the configuration window by simply typing in the new password and confirming that new password. Click set password and then write it to the radio, and that'll change the password on the radios. Make all the radios on your network the same login, and then change the unit default password here in the tools menu, and the software will work seamlessly just like mine is today with the default password. The admin password that I showed you earlier, this is where you can change that password as well. You can enter your new license key and enter a new starting location. The next item in this menu is the Alarm Center. The Alarm Center is the heart of the software. This allows you to tune how you monitor your network according to the parameters of your network. Obviously, not all wireless networks are going to be monitored within the same thresholds. Different topology networks, say a daisy chain network where you're running down intersection to intersection down roads, that's going to have different thresholds that you want to monitor, which would be different from, say, a hub and spoke type network where you have a main access point covering large areas and bringing in all the intersections in that area. Those two types of networks would have different thresholds, and you can tune those thresholds through the Alarm Center to whatever you need them for your network. The Alarm Center will also send emails on alarms to recipients that you designate in the software here. So if you've got aspects of your network that are kind of out of whack, they're not really within those parameters that you've set here, you can ignore those links, so that in your link snapshot view here, you can select to ignore the links. You can ignore these links so that the alarm recipients won't be getting alarms over and over again on outliers on your network that you know are not quite within the parameters you want to monitor. And of course, a good starting point can be set by just clicking Auto Tune. The software also has the capacity to port all of these alerts to an SMTP server. So if you've got a third-party server that is monitoring your network, rather than put all the MIBs, as they're called, into each of the devices on your network, you can simply run Broadband Pro Enterprise and port all these alerts to your SMTP server. Along with the capacity to set the monitoring for your network easily through the Alarm Center, we also have the Report Center. The Report Center, many times, many users have expressed to us that they're asked to give them, say, a configuration report. Just like the right-click menu will give you a configuration report on a single radio, this Report Center, clicking on radio configuration, this will give you a report on a configuration report on every radio on your network. So you can document all your radio settings with just one click of the mouse. It takes a sec for it to generate a configuration report on everything on your network. And of course, you can export it to a PDF document and save it. You can also, one of the things that users are asked to do is to generate a wireless statistics report. Typically, with other software, that requires that you go through and you look at each individual link and you record all the stats for it. With Broadband Pro Enterprise, it is a click of a mouse, and you can generate a wireless statistics report that will cover all the wireless parameters on your network. And again, like all of our tools, you can export this report to a PDF so it can be emailed to people showing them the wireless stats on your network. We also can generate a network topology view, which gives you a block diagram of your network. This also can be exported to a PDF, and you can generate a broken links report telling you what links are down on your network. There's no broken links in my report right now because I don't have anything down, but believe me, it demonstrates, it'll show you what links are down on your network. So that pretty much covers the Report Center. The Security Center is exactly what I had showed you before. This allows you to come in and log in as admin and configure and work on your network. And the last item in the tools menu is expert mode. This allows you to log into a browser interface on the radios, and the browser interface gives you unleashes the full capabilities of our radios. Our devices are layer 3 devices, and there's a lot of advanced features that can be taken advantage of in expert mode. My suggestion and word of caution is you can configure yourself right into a corner with this interface and make the radio inaccessible on the network. So my suggestion is don't go and use this mode unless you are aware of what you're doing, or you're talking to me on the phone and I can walk you through what you need to do while you're in this interface. So we do have a very advanced settings menu that is available on the radios within the software as well. Under the help section, we've got a manual that'll bring up a PDF document that documents all the features of the software and settings and whatnot in the software. You can check your version number, and you can also, when we release updates to the software, you can update them over the internet. Moving on to the map, okay, the software does need a connection to the internet to be able to download maps. The maps come from Bing. We have the slide where you can zoom in or out on your network. You can also click the View All button, and it'll put all your radios within the map view. We have a couple of different map views available for you. You can do a road map, and you can just do a standard aerial map, and the default, and my favorite, is the aerial map with the labels. In looking at the map, any radio that you want to pull the wireless statistics on and see what's going on that connection, all you have to do is hover over the green lines that are depicting that connection, and you'll get a pop-up that will give you all the pertinent information about that wireless connection. One of the industry first features of Broadband Pro Enterprise is it gives you a bi-directional status on the wireless link. So it shows you the link stats in each direction to the access point and from it. And of course, you see you get the RSSI. It even gives you the uptime, the azimuth of the link. So it gives you all your wireless information. You can hover over any one unit and it'll give you the name and the IP address and the geolocation of that unit. Okay, and you can change what these lines are monitoring, what the colors are showing you on the map. You can change that from this drop down right here. Right now it's set to client connection quality, and that's what it's monitoring. You can set it to monitor receive signal strength or any one of the other features that are available here in the drop down, signal to noise ratio and the transmit rate. So that covers the aspects of the mapping feature and the nice pop-ups that you get that can give you instantaneous readings on the radios. We also have a unique tab-driven architecture over on the right. You can look at the map view. The network topology report that you saw earlier, you can look at that as well on the network tab. And the nice thing about the topology view here in the software is when you hover over a unit, it'll show you the stations that are connected to or what it's connected to in the network. We also have a data stats monitoring tab. This will show you the packets that are being put across the wireless module on the network. All you've got to do is drag your device onto the crosshairs and drop it, and it'll give you it'll show you the packets being sent across the wireless link, and it'll show you errors, drop packets, things of that nature. We also have wireless stats view. Same thing applies with the wireless stats view. You just drag a device onto the crosshairs and drop it, and it'll pop up and show you wireless stats on every link on that device. I dropped the quad radio on here, so it's got a number of links on it. So it'll give you your signal to noise ratio, your client connection quality, your throughput, and your received signal strength, and it does it bidirectionally, just like the map view, on every link on your network. Last aspect of the tab-driven architecture is the event log. The way the event log works, as soon as it pops up here, is the event log is tied to the alarm center, which I had showed you earlier, where you set your thresholds that you're going to monitor your network with. If you tune your alarm center correctly, then the only alerts that should be showing up in the event log are alerts that will be relevant to your network. So like in this instance, this just popped up. It's only showing me Broadband Pro starting, and I don't have too many other alerts on my network. That's because if your alarm center is tuned correctly, you only get pertinent alerts, things that are out of bounds from what you set your alarms to. The event log page also has these speedometers. These speedometers are giving you an average of your ping latency, your signal to noise ratio, and your client connection quality. This is giving you an average for all the radios on your network. These small boxes underneath each of the speedometers, they're giving you your maximum and minimum units. So which radio on the network has a minimum ping time, which one has the maximum ping time, which ones have the maximum and the minimum signal to noise ratio, and so on. The event log maintains the logs for 72 hours. So you can leave the software up and running over the weekend, and when you come in, you can look at the events and see what happened over the weekend with your network. You can also clear the alarms, clear the logs by clicking the clear log button. The last feature that I'd like to show you along with, I'm going to go into the configuration window and some of the diagnostic tools that we've got going in the software. But one of the features that Broadband Pro Enterprise has that's exclusive to this software is the capacity to drag and drop configure devices on your network. Say you've configured your access point like this quad radio and you want to set up a radio to work as a station to that quad. All you've got to do is grab that radio, the green dot, drag it onto the radio on the access point cluster where you want to configure it, and drop it, and you get this pop-up, and all you need to do is enter in the name, the IP address, the default gateway, and the subnet mask, and click OK, and the software will automatically write all the wireless settings from the access point to that station radio. So you don't have to log into the station and actually step-by-step configure all your wireless parameters, your SSID, your encryption, your channel width, right? The software will automatically write all that to the station radio for you. When you get into a configuration window, we have along with the configuration tab where you can set your wireless parameters, the mode, access pointer station, your SSID, frequency, channel width, encryption. Okay, the advanced settings tab will bring up the advanced settings screen where you can set your data rates and your protocol. This is where you can set your protocol, your data rates, country code, and you can also hide the SSID. From this window, you can set whether you're going to use spanning tree, tell it to send its information to an SNMP server. We've also got some basic firewall settings, and again, change the password. You can reboot the unit here. Again, you can restore it to defaults, or you can just right-click to do that from the column. And you can save the settings on the radio and also use this interface to load the settings onto another radio. And we have in this window a diagnostics tab. In here, you can run a bandwidth test to different radios on the network, ping test, and it also has a frequency monitor tool. So the software allows you to diagnose aspects of your network, monitor your network, configure your network, and generate all your reports all in one simple software interface that makes everything quite easy to access. That pretty much concludes what I wanted to present here on the software. I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody, and then I'm going to turn this presentation over to Clara. And Clara, go ahead and talk to you about the product and give you some information on that.
So thank you everybody for attending our presentation this morning. Let me just close this window here. And we're going to do an overview of wireless solutions for the ITS. With wireless technologies, you are able to connect every device in the traffic cabinet like controllers, video detection, MMUs, CMUs, even VMSs. Every link on between every device needs to be online with reliable communications for the systems to work. Wireless technology allows cities to deploy these networks faster and for less money than underground fiber or copper. Wireless technologies are perfect last mile solution where some fiber or copper networks are also present. Leverage existing infrastructure and bandwidth to enable wireless networks to be deployed. It's not only for the ITS, but for other entities like the waterworks, police stations, or between buildings and municipalities. There is a broad field of applications for wireless technology within the municipal sector. Infrastructure availability is already in place, like streetlights, traffic signals, buildings. This means that the cities are ready for the last mile connectivity with wireless for a fraction of the cost of bringing fiber optics or hardwire to every city. Most cities today have a mixture of communication media that interconnect their traffic controllers, and it is important to know that wireless can be added to any other type of communication system, including copper wire, FSK, base, closed loop, and central systems. Also, in the case of having any legacy equipment, wireless networks continue to deliver amazing return of investment for legacy systems using RS-232 serial communications protocol. It is simple to install and long-range, non-line-of-sight performance. These 900 MHz solutions are the perfect way to bring online standalone intersections in closed-loop traffic management systems that do not have Ethernet-enabled controllers. The advantages of using wireless over other technologies is just easy to compare wireless against fiber optics or copper. Bandwidth is high, material costs are very low, installation costs are low, it's non-destructive, and the time for deployment is very low. It's super easy to do it. It makes sense to choose wireless over other technologies available out there. So why choose broadband wireless in ITS? Well, it's very simple because you will own the network, you can manage it, you will not have to pay any recurring costs, any monthly fees like using cell phone. It's highly reliable and is very cost effective, and as I said before, it's super easy to install. Intuicom is located in Boulder, Colorado. We manufacture broadband and narrowband radio for network solutions. Our broadband line is composed by the Nitro line, which is our high-performance solution, if we can call it that way. It has up to 300 megabits of throughput with a single radio and up to 600 with a dual radio, integrated GPS, RSSI level indicators, and it has unique features exclusive to Intuicom. Our BBS product line. This is our value line. It is totally compatible with the Nitro 58, and it has also full range of features and capabilities. We manufacture in the 2.4 gigahertz, 4.9, and 5.8. Also on the 900 megahertz range, we do have serial to Ethernet solutions like the EV6 Plus radio. It's a radio that you can see right now on the screen. And also we have serial radios only, like the Communicator 2 and contact closure radios. Just to mention some of the recent deployments in Texas, we have Laredo. They expanded their existing network using 45 Intuicom Nitro 58 and Nitro 58N to create the backhaul back to the TNC, using different formats like the duals and triple radios. Also, City of Lubbock, they are using 40 of our BBS 5824 radios, also incorporating the format of duals and quads. And by 5824, it means that it has two radio cards, one for 5.8 gigahertz and one for 2.4, that could be utilized at hotspot as well. They overcome a lot of challenges in the environmental and structural situation that they have at the city. Besides City of Lubbock and Laredo, we also have installations in Houston and in Amarillo, Texas. California also has the radios. They have 20 of our Intuicom BBS 58, and all these radios are being managed centrally using the Econolite Centrax ATMS. We do have also installations outside the United States. We have installations in Mexico and also in Canada. And in this case of Lethbridge, the city of Lethbridge installed 120 Intuicom BBS 58. They use 5 access points to effectively load balance the network throughout the city. Also, it's being managed by Econolite Centrax ATMS. And that concludes the presentation for today. If you have any questions, please address them to Dave or to myself using the right-hand screen on the chat section. Thank you very much for your time, and it's been a pleasure talking to all of you today.